This is my supplement stack to help me stay lean all year round. I've always said I'm not a fan of supplements because I believe you can get it through all your whole foods and your single ingredient nutrient dense foods. These just fill in gaps. However, this small stack here is not replacing the basics. It's allowed me to optimize my health, get better consistent sleep quality every single night, and improve my performance inside the gym. And that's what we want. In this video, I'm gonna tell you exactly what I take, why I take it, whether I think you should take it, where you can get it from, and what it actually is. So you're not wasting your money and chasing absolute bullshit. Now, there's a lot of bullshit out there in the supplement industry, and I like to keep it simple because I think that all your nutrients should come from your food first. Because getting a diverse micronutrient profile allows you to stop cravings, feel energized, get good quality sleep, all of that good stuff. You don't even need this if you've got your diet dialed down. However, there are life realities, there are things that come into play. If you're training lots, if you're sleeping like shit, if you're working late, or you're just missing out on things like you have extra stress, you can't get any sunlight. If my diet and my training wasn't dialed in at all, I wouldn't touch any of this shit because I'd just be wasting your time. What's the point in buying all the gear if you have no fucking idea, or you haven't even got a good foundation to start with? When it comes to choosing my supplements, these are the 3 rules that they have to abide by to make it into my routine. Rule 1, it has to support training, recovery, or sleep. If it doesn't improve output or recovery, I don't care about it. And this doesn't have to be attributable. You don't have to feel the difference, but as long as you do your research and you're confident that this is going to improve it, then add it in. Rule number 2, it has to cover a realistic deficiency. This could be modern realities like sun, increased stress, poor sleep, late nights, or something you can't reliably get from food. However, if you can get it from food, then you should start eating that instead of buying these. And rule number 3, probably the most important, it has to be natural, clean, and non-toxic. We don't want these supplements to be messing up with all of the systems that we've already built to a good standard. Like additives, fillers, extra sugars, all that shit, you don't want it a weird flavor. You want it standard, you want it natural, and you want it easily digestible so your gut isn't getting fucked up and you're not feeling like a fucking limp dick all the time. So let's get into the supplements. If this kind of no bullshit approach to fitness and health is helpful, then make sure you're subscribed and hit that like button now, it's free. We're starting strong. This is creatine. I believe everyone should be taking creatine, whether you're a woman, a man, maybe not if you're a baby, but everyone should be taking this. It's a naturally occurring compound found in muscle tissue, brain tissue, and also found in like red meat. So you can get this from natural sources, but unless you're eating carnivore, you're not gonna be getting enough. So allowing yourself to supplement it is gonna give you a consistent and efficient intake. Creatine helps you regenerate energy after high intensity effort. It increases phosphocreatine and ATP production, leading to increased strength, power, muscle mass, muscle retention during fat loss, and cognitive restoration. When it comes to creatine, people say you should take around 3 to 5 grams per day, but there is no upper limit from recent research. So I take 10 grams of this a day. It's cheap, it's easy to get. I got this one on Amazon, it's pretty clean. Always go for micronized creatine, and if you can, double dose it. This is only going to improve your performance, allow you to add a bit of water weight inside your muscles, making you look fuller. And an easy way to add this is to have it in a protein shake, add it with a bit of water, also put it in your Greek yogurt bowl so you don't even taste it. And number 2 is a recent addition for me, is magnesium glycinate. I've struggled to find a really good clean source of this supplement, so I'm really happy to add it to my bundle. Magnesium glycinate is a highly bioavailable source of magnesium that binds to glycine for absorption and calming effects, but it also increases your sleep quality. It's a naturally recurring mineral found in whole foods. However, because of the modern lifestyle, diets, stress, lack of sleep, we now have a constant deficiency in this. Magnesium also supports muscle relaxation, nervous system recovery, insulin sensitivity, and hormone function with things like testosterone. A recommended dosage online is around 300 to 400 milligrams. However, this here has 1,600 milligrams per 2 capsules, and I have 2 capsules a day. It also has an absorption complex of black pepper, ginger, and cumin. So I really recommend British Supplements if you're looking for some good magnesium glycinate. Also, when it comes to purchasing magnesium, always go for glycinate or biglycinate, because if it's magnesium oxide, it's so hard to absorb and basically useless. Next up, we've got collagen. This is Will Powder's Swiss bovine collagen peptides from grass-fed cows pasture-raised on the Swiss mountains. You can't really get any better than this. It's hydrolyzed compared to this. This is homemade bone broth I made with connective tissues, knuckles, marrow, meat, fat, all of the good stuff, simmered for 12 to 24 hours. Now, I will always choose bone broth over collagen peptides powder because it's obviously a more natural recurring source. However, it's calorific, and if you're on a cut and if you know you're eating a lot every single day, then, you know, a scoop of this might be a bit better. Collagen is derived from skin, connective tissues, marrow, all of that good stuff, or offcuts from the cow, or any kind of animal. Collagen provides proline or hydroxyproline, which supports joints, tendons, ligaments, skin integrity, gut lining health, as well as nervous system recovery. A recommended intake for this is around 10 to 20 grams, and a recommended intake for this is 1 cup to break your fast. If you're tracking to the T, go for this. If you're on a more natural, intuitive whole foods diet, go for this. When it comes to buying collagen, you need to be making sure it's bought from grass-fed cows, without the fillers, without the sweeteners, without all the artificial shit, just straight up collagen powder. For our fourth supplement in the stack, this is vitamin D3 and K2. These are fat-soluble vitamins that work together to support calcium absorption, metabolism, and hormone function. Vitamin D3 is produced in your body when you're hitting the sun. So I've added this recently because it's dark, it's cold, there's not much sunlight in the UK. Whereas vitamin K2 is found in animal products such as red meat and fermented products such as sauerkraut, pickles, etc. It can also be found in kiwis. This combination supports immune health, testosterone production, bone density, mood, and ensures calcium is directed to bones, not just your arteries. A recommended daily amount is around 2,000 to 4,000 UI for vitamin D3 and 200 to 300 milligrams for K2. And I always take this with a meal. As they're fat soluble, they're more absorbed when you take them after some food. When it comes to choosing a good supplement for these vitamins, you need to make sure it's from a clean, non-toxic company. As well as this, vitamin D3 should come from cholecalciferol, and vitamin K2 should come from MK7, which it does from here. So shout out British Supps again. Next, we got some shilajit. Shilajit is a naturally recurring mineral-rich resin found from compressed plant matter over hundreds of years inside rocks. They're found in higher up regions of mountains like the Himalayas, like the Altai Mountains. This one's from the Himalayan mountains, keep on. Shilajit supports mitochondrial function, ATP production, improving cellular energy, nutrient absorption through fulvic acid, overall vitality, and because of this cellular regeneration, it indirectly supports the production of testosterone. When it comes to doses for shilajit, you should be having around 250 to 500 milligrams a day. You can either scoop it out with a wooden spoon, don't use a metal one, you don't want to taint the nutrients. Have it on a metal spoon, have it in the mouth. It's not all that tasty, so what I like to do is mix it in with a herbal tea or mix it in with my coffee in the morning. Also, avoid taking this late at night. When it comes to choosing a high quality shilajit, you want to make sure that the fulvic acid is around 15 to 20% of the compound, as well as being tested for heavy metals and of course, like I mentioned earlier, in the Altai or Himalayan region. And probably my favorite, but last but not least, we've got bee bread. Bee bread is a naturally fermented blend of local raw honey and local raw bee pollen. And it develops over 1 to 2 weeks after microbial fermentation takes place. So what I did was I got a local pot of raw honey from the farm. I chucked in probably 2 tablespoons of raw bee pollen into the top, flipped it over every now and then, left it sealed for 2 weeks, and then you get this brown, thick, yummy, caramelly-like honey paste. Bee bread is a traditional whole food practice. They used to put it on wounds, cuts, because it contains things like B vitamins, enzymes, positive microbes, amino acids, and trace minerals that support energy, metabolism, gut health, nervous system function, and overall vitality. A small daily serving of 1 teaspoon or 1 tablespoon pre-workout, it's a great carb source, great for energy, or in the morning is perfect. And when you're making quality bee bread, you don't want to buy it pre-bought. They probably won't sell this in the shop, but when you are getting your honey, make sure it's from a local farm and it's raw. Same with your bee pollen, raw and local. It doesn't have to be local, but at least you know it's coming from a good, high quality source then. And some honorable mentions that I also use as supplementation is beef liver, an absolute powerhouse in the nutrient list. If you haven't tried beef liver or you don't like beef liver, you can do things like freeze it, have a little bit, but you don't want to be over consuming this because it can cause heart palpitations because it got so much vitamins in. It's absolutely potent when it's compared to all of these supplements, so having it once a week is enough. Another thing I like to have, especially if I'm low on zinc or I think I'm low on zinc, is oysters. I like to have a tray of oysters every fortnight, at least 6, so I know that my zinc is topped up fully. Now, I don't believe you should be getting all of your nutrition from supplements, and having a cupboard full of pots, full of packets of tablets is not the best. However, supplementation does reduce friction. If you are missing out on a nutrient because of your diet, because of your life, then it is key to supplement it. I do believe that. As long as it's clean, as long as it's non-toxic, then you're obviously gonna be better off for taking it. Now, these supplements aren't cheap, but it allows me to train better, allows me to perform better, recover better, so I'm better in myself day to day. I'm able to be more consistent, I'm able to show up better when it comes to family, when it comes to work, when it comes to training. However, when I was overweight, I needed to sort out my lifestyle. I needed to sort out my training, I needed to sort out my food, I needed to sort out my sleep, and recovery. That's the whole body blueprint. If you don't have those 4 things covered, you need to dial them in before you spend a penny on supplements. If you're overweight and relying on supplements to fix things, they fucking won't. However, if you're training hard, but you feel like shit, you're doing all the work you can through your lifestyle, but you feel like something is missing or you still feel like shit, then yeah, go for it. I believe that you need to earn supplements, so get the basics right first. I post no bullshit content when it comes to health and fitness. What works for me, what's worked for my clients, what you should avoid. So if you want to see more of that, then follow along for the journey. Supplements aren't a necessity. However, when you've got the foundations in place and the means to use them, then yes, absolutely, if they're going to positively impact your life, then invest and spend your money on good quality supplements. If you want to get in the shape of your life and rebuild the confidence that you once had, then apply for my one-to-one coaching in the Calendly link down below. We can have a call about what your goals are, where you want to get to in 2026, and if you'd be a right fit for my whole body blueprint. And if not, go and follow me on Instagram. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video and got some quality value out of it, you might even start going buying supplements. But if you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you at the next one. Peace.